Welcome to Unhinged Magi. We were wrong.
Yep. And the video.
No. What were we specifically wrong about? We did say that Underground Sea grade 10 for revised would be 3 grand.
And specifically, it was me that uttered that wrong statement.
Yes. Well, I allowed it to continue and probably agreed with it. So
it's important to us to have our facts in line. And we've done a bunch of arguing with people lately about some other various things. We've been accused a lot lately of not being willing to admit when we're wrong on something. And we're not wrong on the flesh and blood thing. But actually, the statement about the revised box on that last video we just did, which we should link right here, there was an incorrect statement.
That is correct.
I incorrectly stated that if an Underground Sea, a near mint one is going for $1,000, that a BGS 10 should be $3. No, it should actually be higher. I think that statement was incorrect. And we've actually got some data to show you guys here.
Yes, we are going to go to the data after a second of upload time, right?
Just turn off the top one.
Turn off the top one.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh, sorry. Top two.
All right.
There we go.
So there we go. All right. So this is Underground. This is actually Underground Sea from the POP report. And as you can see, there's a black label here. This is black label. There's only one black label. And there's actually 5 existing 10s. There are 188 9.5s, and then it goes down from there. All right. So there's 966 Underground Seas that were actually submitted. The black label should actually be worth way more than 10 grand. And then we have our 5 that sure, they would be, in the 10 grand.
They're not a black label, but they are 10s.
Correct.
So there's only 6 BGS 10 revised Underground Seas that have ever been graded.
Right. So I'm going to show you this one. That's 966. But I'm also going to show you the Beta Underground Sea as well. It's right here. There was 252 sent in versus 966, 1 black label, and 3 10s.
Isn't that the black label that Rudy has? Doesn't he have that one black label Beta Underground Sea?
He has the black label Underground Sea.
He had one in a video he was showing. It was an Underground Sea and it was black label. I just don't remember what set. It might have been.
Oh, Beta. I have no idea, dude.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, there's only one.
All right. So 966 sent here. 252 here.
Which is actually one more thing I want to mention before we roll forward. Go back to the revised for a second. That's 966 revised Underground Seas have been submitted for grading. But keep in mind, guys, there's 288,000 Underground Seas and revised that were printed. That specifically means that's 0.03% of the existing ones have actually been submitted, is what that means. And then in beta, that number, there's only 3,000 beta. So, 250 out of 3,000 is a much higher percent. We were what is it, 7 to 9% or something in that range. That's a much higher percent of the betas have been sent in for grading.
Exactly. And so when you use that kind of ratio, there could be more coming in to be graded. But then I wanted to show out Charizard here from Pokemon Shadowless. He's got 2 10s. 795 were submitted. 39 were 9.5. This is unlimited. Oh, we messed up. Where's the Charizard? We were scrolling around earlier.
There
he is. No.
Charizard Holo.
There he is.
Yeah.
So we got 24 9.5s and
that's Chauncey.
None. Chauncey?
That's Chauncey. Yeah, you're on these rows.
I need to learn how to read.
So this one here.
There he is. So there's 110. No black label, 202 9.5s. Now that doesn't divide it out into quads and that kind of stuff.
3,200 submitted though. That's a bunch.
That's a bunch, right? It's extraordinarily hard to get a 10. All right, and so this was Ultimate Masters. Ultimate Masters is a newer set. Look at the grading quality now. We got 25, 5 become 10, 19 9.5s. You can see this as you get newer and newer, it's easier to get those 10s, right? So, what does all that mean? Well, Beckett does graded cards, and they are human. So similar to this down camera, you will have two. Which artwork do you want more? If you go to here, you will see that it's version 2, version 3 versus version 2. Though supposedly these are two different artworks.
So does Beckett make mistakes? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Let me show you another thing. All right, so
Switch that.
I'll switch back. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I do have a Mox Pristine 10. That is the corner of the Pristine 10.
That is a Beta Mox Sapphire, guys.
Yeah, I'll show it. It's all the way back up here. Mox Sapphire. There's the 10. And this is not something I'm trying to hide or anything like that. So there's the Pristine 10.
They gave it a 9.5 on the edges.
Yes, on the edges they gave it a 9.5. But this corner is actually, it doesn't even reflect it very well, but there is a bend here kind of thing going on. And it has this right here. Okay, so this actually would be considered not a grade Mint Gem 10. Okay, now what I also want to say is that Beckett also announced a while back that if you actually send in cards that are 10s, and let's say you crack the case by accident or it's broken or something kind of that, they are going to regrade it. And then they can downgrade it. And that's happened to a few people, right?
Which would be frustrating if you didn't know it was going to get downgraded. But
right.
if you at least
knew
it was coming.
Now everyone really knows about it. So,
yeah.
But that's a thing. So the pop report can fluctuate.
Yep.
Downward and upward. So a lot of these 9.5s that you see, these quad 9.5s and with the quad plus and that kind of stuff, they could be actually 10s. And so if you take your card back to Beckett and you actually physically walk it there, and that's what people like to do. They like to go find these cards. They take it to Beckett's office, the main office, meet with the people. They show them what's wrong, and then it gets upgraded into the next category. And back a few years, that caused some problems. And that's why they had to say, if you send in a card, we're going to regrade it. Because there are examples out there similar to this Mox Jet that they're 10s, but they're not 10s. And that's one of those things. They know it exists. They know that problem exists. So I'm not saying anything that's new. However, back in the day, I haven't submitted any cards recently. Okay, so they may have fixed all the glitches.
Right.
But they weren't grading to the correct standard.
So the big key takeaway is there can be mistakes upwards and there can be mistakes downwards. You can't look at the population and just say this is definitely correct. You need to take it with a grain of salt.
The graders who sell and buy graded cards always say, look at the card. Don't buy the pop.
Yep, buy the card.
Buy the card. You look at the card, you see the card, you flip that over, you look at the back. You flip it over, look at the front, measure it if you want to see what the centering is, and you buy the card, not the grade.
And actually, this is like something I need to point out. That video that you were showing for the Mox Sapphire.
Yeah.
So what was happening?
I actually sent that to somebody, because they wanted to know if they wanted to buy it.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. So that was Dan being honest, actually. The guy wanted to buy it because it was a 10. And Dan actually took that whole video and showed him there is this thing here. It graded a 10. But it's got this thing here. I don't want you to be surprised about it.
Exactly.
Here's a defect that's actually on it that you need to know about. And then the guy actually ended up not buying it.
That's correct. He didn't buy it.
Yeah, but that was good.
Because,
I mean, if he bought it and then he saw that, he would have been really upset.
Exactly.
But that's what you got to do, you guys. You got to be very clear about what people are buying.
Exactly. So that's a thing. So you can buy that, and then you can write in your little registry that you have a 10. Do you really have a 10?
Yep. So definitely have a little bit of doubt on the population. But also the point that we made in the other video, even though I'm owning the fact that calling a BGS 10 revised Underground C 3000 is too cheap, I'm wrong about that when I said
Absolutely.
that before. But here's what we're right about. 1,000 revised Underground Seas submitted is not much. There's a lot of others out there.
Yeah, there are a lot that have been played. Given that.
Totally,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
That's true. But we got revised boxes. I'm surrounded in this very room by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 revised boxes.
And there's 4 more downstairs.
Yeah, just 4 more downstairs. Of course, there's not a ton of Underground
plus 2 more
Seas.
bricks.
Yeah, so I mean, any one of those could actually have a revised Underground Sea that could possibly pop out and grade like a 10. It's possible. That's just in this room, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
it's not in everybody's room.
no, it's not in everybody's room. There's not a ton of sealed revised product out there, but there is sealed revised product out there, and there's also a lot of stuff that people have cracked and sleeved and never played.
True. There is a lot of that too.
And that's kind of that was the bigger point that we were actually going for, and I'm standing by that one. That one's correct.
Yeah, and I did show an Underground Sea ungraded.
And probably the first time, like if somebody sold a BGS 10 Underground Sea for like 20 grand, if there was some crazy price.
Actually, that's probable. I mean, if it's in a collector's hand,
right,
it's probable.
But what I'm saying is, if that happened and that was heard by the public, darn well there'd be a bunch of other Underground Seas coming in for grade.
Oh yeah, whenever anything like sells like a 10 that's really expensive, that's when you see the rush. Because everyone wants to be a part of that. So they actually submit. That's why they get backlogged. That's why they've been backlogged for a long time, because sending in graded cards makes you money.
Yep.
Right? You get your cards graded, you go back, you pull them back out, and then you sell them, and that makes you money.
Yep.
That's what people are trying to do. Unfortunately, they don't usually look to see. They say, hey, this looks good. Ship it. 8.5. What the hell happened to my card?
Yep.
But that's pretty much the gamble. You ship it in and hope for the best.
So anyways, that's probably enough for today. Does integrity matter to us? Yes, it does.
Yes.
If we make a mistake, are we going to own it? Yes, we are. No, my flesh and blood comments were not a mistake. We were right.
Yes.
And that video is coming up, actually, another video talking about the Monarch release here.
Yep.
So,
The release of numbers, yeah.
Yep, the release of numbers. So thanks for tuning in, everybody.
All right. Have a nice day. Hope this helped. And if it didn't, well, I'm glad you watched.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
And hit the subscribe button, please.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.